It's kind of like a betterment, self-fulfillment, achieving success type thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So let's you're you've had an awesome career. You've been doing it for quite some time. You're on some hit records and did a lot, and now you're doing the independent thing. Could you just maybe tell me about like where you're at musically and business wise these days?
Sure. Well, musically, I've kind of taken a step back from being an artist, and I wanted to basically empower myself and go learn how to get another skill set. So Pro Tools and engineering kind of became my best friend in the past 5 years. And what I've been doing is focusing on my writing, engineering, vocal arranging, and basically working with the next generation of talent um, coming up in the business. It's a different business than when I started and, when I did a lot of the big records that I did. So I basically wanted something sustainable where I was still utilizing my gift, but kind of giving back, and working with this next generation.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's actually, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that kind of leads into one of my questions, but you can continue. I'll
Go ahead.
Oh, you talked about the state of the industry and how it's a lot different now, and obviously there's a lot more routes for the independent artists now to get out and distributed. Do you think that
Mhm.
do you think that that's a positive thing or a not so great thing?
I think it's a mixed bag, to be honest. The good thing is that talented people have an opportunity and a platform to get themselves heard without the red tape of record labels and everything. On the flip side, you're also, getting a lot of crap because
Yeah.
everyone thinks they're, rappers and artists now too, and they have the internet, as their outlet. So I think it's kind of, I think it's give and take, you
Yeah.
know. But I think a lot of good stuff has been coming out, though. Probably a lot more artists that we, normally, 15, 20 years ago would not have been able to come out or surface. I think the internet's definitely, been a good platform for people that normally would not have had the funding or the outlet to release music. There's just so many ways to do it now.
Yeah, for sure. What is
Mm-hmm.
what is success for Dina Rae? Like, what is when you think about success? What is it? How do you define success?
Um, I mean, success is doing what you love and making a living at it. I mean, that's what I think. Living in Los Angeles my whole life, you see people that struggle and fight for their dream their whole entire life, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't financially. I think that if you're making money and making a living doing what you love, that's success in itself. Um, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
it's real
definitely.
simple.
Yeah, yeah, it makes perfect sense, right? There's a lot to doing
Mhm.
what you love. So, and then I think
Absolutely.
the last question I'm going to shoot at you is good people in the industry. Now, I was involved a little bit in our local scene a long time ago, and even at the very local, not making a lot of money level, there was a lot of
Where are
shit
you from?
from Vancouver, up in
Oh,
Canada.
okay. Is that where you're calling me from right now?
Yes, ma'am. Um,
Okay.
so there was a lot of shitty people, even at like the barely paying rent level of the music industry. Do you think that like how do you surround yourself with good people in what you do, or does that even matter? Is it just do you? Yeah.
You mean me personally?
Yes. Yeah.
Um, I'm very blessed. I've been in this city my whole life. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, and I kind of came on the scene. I was a dancer. I'm a trained dancer. That's my background. And when I first started doing music and laying hooks for a lot of the local MCs, you know, it's funny because it's kind of come around full circle because I work with Will.I.Am's camp now, but that's who I started with when I was 18.
Oh wow.
With Black Eyed Peas before, before their commercial success, and the Far Side and all those West Coast guys.
Yeah.
And I've just kind of grew up in it, you know what I mean? So it's kind of been organic the way everything is unfolded. Going to Detroit and, working with M, and then, New York and doing Motown and all that stuff, that was just a result and effect of everything and all the seeds that I planted in Los Angeles. So, it just so happens I have these relationships that, that have been nourished over the years. But coming up and being new and not knowing anyone here, that's really tough because, people take advantage of, young, hungry artists, and people always want to make a buck off of you. So I think the key is to really just keep your eyes wide open, educating yourself, understanding the business, reading, asking questions to the people, that you do trust, and things like that.
That's awesome. I think that's it. I mean, I could, honestly, as a fan of yours, I could sit here and question you all day, but I won't. So thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you so much. On a side note, I don't know if you get into
It was a great conversation. I mean, it's always interesting to talk to somebody who's been around in the music scene for so long and done so much, and she's kind of maintaining